Hi everyone, and welcome back to your Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics subject. This is still your instructor, Mr. Trip Anthony A. Ramos, and for this session, we'll be talking about the non-government institutions. Okay, so first up with the non-government institution, we have here, okay, definitely the bank. Okay, so if we're talking about the bank, this is a place where people deposit or save their money with corresponding interest in a given period of time. So I'm not sure if some of you already have their bank accounts, but definitely this would actually be beneficial, no, for those people, of course, na nagsasave. Bakit? Because say for example, no, sa bangko, pag ikaw ay nagdeposito halimbawa ng pera, no, say for example sa BDO, kapag meron ka minimum na ano no na deposito na 5,000, definitely for each month, no, tumutubo ito ng interest, no. Ilang mga sentimo ito, pero definitely hindi mo naman mapupulot, of course, yung mga sentimo na yan, no. So, and as long as tumatagal yung pera mo sa bangko, definitely no nagkakaroon ka ng ano no ng mas malaki, of course, na interest, no. So, comparing this, say for example, nag-iipon ka sa alkansya or halimbawa nagsusok ka kung saan mo sinusuksok yung pera mo, no, kung magkano yung hinulog mo doon, no, or sinuksok mo doon, yun din ang makukuha mo lamang, no. So definitely in bank, no, when you deposit a money, no, or deposit some amount, definitely papaikutin ito ng bangko. Kung saan, of course, no, tutubo ito dahil nga meron siyang ano no, meron siyang dito, meron siyang definitely pinagpupuntahan yung pera, no. So definitely in this sense, no, kada buwan yung pera mo, for as long as ma-maintain mo yung balance, you will actually have a corresponding interest on a given period of time. Okay? So of course, the bank, we know that it lends money both to the public and private organizations. So take note, class, na hindi lang tao, no, or hindi lang yung mga private individuals ang umuutang sa bangko. Kahit yung public, no, kahit yung gobyerno, they are actually borrowing money from the bank, no, so that they will be able to finance their projects, no. So definitely ito yung tinatawag natin na bonds. Kaya kung meron sa inyong ano no, kung meron sa inyong mga nag-i-invest, no, sa mga bonds, ito yon, pinapautang ng bangko yung pera sa gobyerno so that magkakaroon to ng tubo or interest later on, no. Whereas if you're talking about the private organizations or individuals, they are of course borrowing money to finance their business and even their personal needs, no. Ayun nga lang, no, I would not advise you to borrow money from the bank, no, lalong-lalo na kung wala naman kayong paggagamitan. It's simply because mas mataas ang interest talaga nitong mga bangko because they would want also to to maximize their profit as well. Okay? So, examples ng mga bangko, no, lalo na rin sa Pilipinas, we have the Banco de Oro, or the BDO. We also have the Bank of the Philippine Islands, or the BPI, the Metro Bank, no, rural banks, no, marami yan, lalo na sa probinsya, no. There are actually rural banks of, for example, in Quezon, in Laguna, and even different municipalities, they have rural banks, no. And if you will actually be investing in this, no, sa mga rural banks, no, don't be afraid, no, kasi ito mga rural banks na ito, kapag nag-invest kayo rito or nag-save kayo ng money rito, definitely, or nag-time deposit, mas mataas actually yung kanilang binibigay na interest. Yun nga lang, of course, yung risk na pagbagsak ng kanilang institution ay mas of course greater, no, greater compared sa mga commercial banks. Pero don't worry, no, kasi sa Pilipinas, kung halimbawa mag-invest ka ng not more than 500,000, that money would actually be PDIC insured. Ibig sabihin, kahit magsarado ang rural bank na yan, makukuha mo pa rin yung pera mo for as long as hindi lalagpas ng 500,000. Okay, so that would be the bank. We also have what we call as the corporation. So corporation, it is a company or group of people that is being authorized to act as a single entity and recognized as such in law. No, so definitely, class, no, if you will go back to your Article 3, Section 1 of your 1987 Constitution, it states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be deprived of equal protection of law. So take note, yung person na sinasabi doon ay hindi lamang yung tinatawag natin na natural persons or tayong mga natural person, no. Yung mga corporation, they are actually part of the artificial, no, persons, no. Yung person na yon ay ito ay inauthorized, no, as single entity. Itong mga korporasyon na to, sa batas natin, tinitingnan sila as parang entity or parang isang tao na rin, na hindi mo sila pwedeng tanggalan ng buhay, hindi mo sila pwedeng tanggalan ng karapatan, no, na magmay-ari without due process of law. Okay? And usually, corporations operate as stock corporations where ownership is through stockholders who own particular shares in the company. No? So karaniwan ito sa stock market, no, na ang nangyayari diyan, merong isang company ang ginagawa ay hinahati-hati yung kanyang ownership. Depende of course sa shares na binibili. No, of course, kung mas marami kang stocks, mas malaki syempre yung porsyento mo doon sa kumpanya. At kung sino may pinakamalaking share or stocks doon sa company, definitely they are actually being deemed as, of course, the major owner. No, so that would be your corporation. So ano yung mga examples ng corporation that we have here in the Philippines? So definitely we have the San Miguel Corporation and the Jollibee Foods Corporation. At alam niyo ko, marami pa kayong alam na ano, no, ng mga korporasyon na of course, no, nagbi-business dito sa Philippines, no? So going to cooperative or cooperativa, this would actually be referring to an autonomous association whose membership is voluntary toward the attainment of common economic, social, and cultural needs or aspirations. So take note class that this is voluntary. Ibig sabihin, hindi sa pilitan ang pagiging miyembro nito. And commonly ito mga kooperatiba na ito ay nag-iisip sila of course, no, ng kanilang objective or yung kanilang aspirations. Ano ba yung kailangan nilang ma-attain? At mula doon sa mga objectives at mga aspirations na yun, doon sila magsisimula. No? Sino yung mga gustong maging miyembro? No, definitely they would be volunteering so that they will be members of the said institution. Okay? And take note class that a cooperative is also being owned by its members. Siyempre, sino pa ba mga may-ari nun? Of course, yung mga members ng co-op na yon. No? So, examples ng mga kooperatiba ay yung meron tayong credit cooperative, the consumer cooperative, the electric cooperative, housing cooperative, workers cooperative, agricultural cooperative, and the general cooperative. And take note class, mapapansin nyo dyan na may iba't ibang uri ng co-op at again, no, that would actually be depending on the needs or aspirations of the members. Bakit ba sila nagsama-sama to build that autonomous association? Okay? So, let's go now to what we call as the trade union or the labor union. No, madalas niyo 'to makikita, no, lalong-lalo sa mga empleyado, no. So, this is an organization of workers whose main objective is of course to protect the welfare of its members. Ito yung mga union na tinatawag, and in the future, no, kung sakali mag-decision kayo na magtrabaho, no, you will be able to encounter this, no. They are actually the representative of course of the employees so that they will be protected. Sir, paano pong protected? Protected in a sense na na tama ba yung pasahod ni company? No, tama pa limbawa yung mga benefits na binibigay. That would actually be yung trade union or the labor union na magsasabi, no, ng ano yung kanilang adhikain or ano yung adhikain ng kanilang mga empleyado. Okay? And its purpose class is to collectively negotiate employers for better compensation benefits, safety standards in the workplace, and definitely that those are among the others, no. So anong ginagawa ulit dito? They would bargain, no, in behalf of the employees because they would really want of course to maximize the compensation benefits. Sino bang may ayaw of course, 'di ba, na magtrabaho ng malaki yung sahod or malaking benepisyo? Syempre lahat tayo gusto nun, no. Talagang gagawin natin yung best natin so that we will be able to attain of course yung magandang working environment, be it in the compensation or even the safetyness of course of your workplace, no. So examples ng trade union or labor union na meron tayo sa Pilipinas, ayan, no, we have the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines or the TUCP and the Kilusang Mayo Uno or the KMU. Okay? We also have what we call as the Transnational Advocacy Group. So it is being involved in social advocacy to promote principled causes, ideas, and values. And the goal of this group is to actually give the powerless a voice in the domestic and international lawmaking body. So since this is being called as transnational, no, from the word itself, transnational, it traverses boundaries. No, hindi lang ito na malolocate sa isang bansa. No, maaari ito malocate sa iba't iba pang bansa. So transnational nga eh. So definitely makikita mo sila, no, sa iba't ibang mga bansa. So common social advocacies, of course, this include human rights, consumer rights, women's rights, environmental issues, and even the international peace. So in the Philippines, no, we have the Human Rights Watch. No, this is very active in terms of human rights and peace issues. We also have the World Vision and the Amnesty International, to name a few. No, so that would be your transnational advocacy group. So We also have what we call as the development agencies. So development agencies, they are committed or dedicated to distributing aid. And these agencies are present in developing countries challenged by security conflict, food shortage, climate change, financial instability, and the others. No? So definitely itong mga development agencies na ito ay pinopromulgate ng ng mga malalaking bansa at mayayamang mga bansa. So mga example nito, yung United States Agency for International Development or USAID. We also have the AusAid, the Australian Agency for International Development, and the JICA or the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Now let me give you an example of one great example na magandang project na tong development agency or the USAID. Say for example yung USAID, no. So nung panahon ni Ginoong Marcos, no, sikat na sikat yung Nutriban na tinatawag, no, na binibigay ito sa mga eskwelahan na libreng mga tinapay. At pinaniniwalaan dati na si Ginoong Marcos ang nagpatupad nito. No, take note na hindi si Marcos ang nagpatupad ng Nutriban or hindi siya yung nagbigay, hindi niya to proyekto. Proyekto ito ng USAID na pinadaan lang sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas, of course, to distribute it. No, so definitely yung Nutriban ay naging project noon ng USAID. Okay. So take note also, class, that aid can be subdivided into two categories. We have the humanitarian aid, which is actually emergency relief efforts, no, in response to disasters and development and other sakuna, no. So definitely itong mga to, say for example nung time ng halimbawa ng Yolanda, no, there are humanitarian aid na nangyari, no. And we also have what we call as the development aid or the foreign aid, which is actually aimed at helping countries to achieve the sustainable economic growth. No? We also have what we call as the global organization. So they operate in in the development of entire countries, and they are the funders and donors. So karaniwan dito, we have the World Bank, International Monetary Bank, and the Asian Development Bank. No? So sila yung nag-grant ng mga loans, no? Kagaya halimbawa nung nag-loan si Ginoong Duterte, no, na kung saan definitely nanghingi tayo ng loan or umutang tayo so that we will be able to sustain our projects here ngayong sa pandemya daw, no? So that would be your global organizations. We also have what we call as the international organizations, and that can be divided into two types, no? The INGO or the international non-governmental organizations, which are actually being composed of individual members, no? Ibig sabihin tao talaga yung miyembro nito. So examples na to ay yung Red Cross, no? So IGOs or the international governmental organizations, they are composed of member states, hindi individuals, okay? Member states. So let me give an example. The United Nations, na kung saan member ang Philippines. Ano pa? Association of Southeast Asian Nations, na member din yung Pilipinas at yung mga ibang nating karating bansa. So those are your international organizations. And that's it for our discussion about the non-government institution. And let me thank everyone for attending our session. And I hope to see you on our succeeding one. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you all next session.